Hey, I'm Ashley Caprice. You're now tuned in to Conversations with Caprice. I have author and motivational speaker Miss Monica Carter here with me. How are you?
I'm doing great, Ashley, and you?
I'm doing fabulous. Speaking of fabulous, you have this book, and it's called Celibate, Fabulous, and Fearless.
Yes, yes.
So normally when I think of, or when most people think of celibacy, they may think, oh, someone might be inexperienced or boring or something like that. But what I really love about this title is that you paired it, celibate, with fabulous and fearless.
Right.
So you can still be those things, although you might be celibate.
Exactly.
So what inspired the title of the book?
Yeah, so this was not supposed to be the title. Okay. I mean, last year I was to get married in August, and so my book was supposed to be called Mr. Right.
Okay.
And so after that, I was kind of discouraged, like, well, I don't want to write a book. So long story short, I was in church. I attend Faithful Central in Inglewood, Bishop Omer, in January, and we had a staff pastor who spoke, and she said someone needs to answer the call. And just the day before, I was speaking about, Lord, I'm not a pastor. I don't want to write a book. What is the book going to be called? And so she said verbatim what I had said. And so I knew then the Lord wanted me to, implement some type of book. And so I went home, got my journals, and over the next 30 days, this is what he gave me.
Okay.
So celibate and fabulous is for women. So God is saying you can be celibate and fabulous. And you're right, Ashley. Most people think celibacy is like where your shirt's all buttoned up.
Right.
Well, I like to be fabulous. So, but you can have values.
Exactly.
And live for God. And then the fearless is for men.
Okay.
So celibate and fearless. And most women who date men who are living for God, you may think, oh, he may want another man or something must be wrong with him. But that's pretty sexy these days.
Exactly. So you said it was supposed to be called Mr. Right.
Yes.
First, but that marriage, it did not happen.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm happy you didn't call the book Mr. Wrong.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. Instead, you moved on with your life. Like, okay, no, we're just going to call it something else.
Yes. Yeah, I am, elated. I'm the type of person that if it didn't work out with me and someone else, I wish him the best. I'm not bitter about anything, and I want him to have who he wants to be with. And so, yeah, I just know that God has someone great for me, so I'll just wait.
So I watched the trailer of your book, and you went through quite a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw in the trailer that, and these are all based on true events, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were shot before.
Yes.
You were in an abusive relationship before, and then you had this last person, your ex-fiance, who pretty much called off the wedding the day of the wedding.
Yes. Day of.
But what I love about you is that you do not wear that at all. You do not wear what you've been through.
Exactly.
And I love that about you. Tell me, how did you get over so many trials and tribulations?
Well, I think it's just, I know it's just, not think, but it's just God. The more and more you meditate in the Word, and the more and more you get knowledge and understanding about the Word, He strengthens you. All the things I've gone through, especially last year, if He would have showed me the script that, you were going to be left practically at the altar, I would have thought, wow, I can't handle that. But it was just amazing, the strength that He gave me. And so, it's just really, you grow as you go through trials and tribulations, which sounds crazy, but that's how God works. Whatever trials you go through, it just makes you stronger and wiser.
Yep.
And it was all for this day, to help others.
All for this book.
Yes.
Yep. You let your test be your testimony.
Exactly. Yes.
So celibacy, fabulous, and fearless. Celibacy. Okay, so we live in a society where it's like sex sells, sex is everywhere. It's all on Instagram, all these photos and everything like that. How does one, I don't want to say it like that, but how does one become strong-willed enough to become celibate? And what was your decision behind becoming celibate?
Well, it's a process, Ashley. I didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to be celibate. I first started in my younger age when I was like 27. That's when I got shot. Okay. And so my old pastor in the church I grew up in, he prophesied that trouble was going to come. God said trouble was going to come. And then that was a Sunday, and that Tuesday I got shot. Wow. And so that was all for this day, because in the prophecy it said, trouble's going to come. And when he comes, call on Jesus. Okay. And he said, the reason this trouble is going to come is because God has something big for you in your future, and he wants you to live right. And in order for him to get you there, he has to take you to this path. And so I was thinking, well, what am I doing? I'm just fornicating. Like, what's the big deal? But I talk about, Ashley, I'm from the Show Me state of St. Louis.
All right.
So God always has to show me. He has to, as big as a tragedy that was, he had to show me and take me through that in order for me to live a righteous lifestyle. So, again, it's a process. Even when I started, my book is very transparent. It's not a button-up story. I wanted to be transparent because when I was your age, you know, it was, you know, people had this facade about their marriage, that everything was great and their relationships were great. And so God wanted me to be transparent to help people, you know, because my life is not a button-up story, again, and people's marriages are not what they appear to be. And so I think we go through things to help others. And so this is what this is about. It's not about Monica. Okay. It's about, and it's not a woe is me story. You know, I got shot. Yeah, I was in a marriage by watching my clock, a bad marriage. And yeah, I was almost left at the altar. But it's not a woe is me. I'm the happiest person you ever want to meet.
You come across as such. I love it.
Yeah, and it's all God. You know, He gives you one of the fruits of the Spirit is this self-control. And so you ask me, how does one live that celibate lifestyle? You just, again, you have to have that self-control. At a certain point in your life, you have to make up your mind, what do you want for yourself? Not just what God says, but what is it that you want for Ashley? And so that's the decision I've made. You know, sex is easy to get. I can get that after this interview, you know. So.
Right. Just make a phone call.
Exactly. Not being pretentious, but I'm saying that's easy to conquer these days. So just want to be different.
Yeah. Good thing. It's a good difference.
Exactly.
So I was going to ask you, you said that you were watching a clock, and this is why you married your first husband.
Yes.
And you were about 27, 28 years old.
Well, I was 30 years old when I got married,
Yeah, because I believe, like a lot of women my age, we feel the pressure from family, friends, parents. Okay, so when are you going to get married? And when are you going to have this baby? And then after that, it's like, when are you going to have another baby? It's like just being a woman and having my career and doing what I want to do for myself is just not enough. Like,
exactly.
We need a man to validate us or something.
Right. Yes.
Something. What advice would you give to those women who might feel the pressure of, okay, I need to get married now. Like, time is ticking.
Right. Well, that's why I put in there watching my clock.
Yeah.
I wish, like I said, there was a Monica when I was going through the things I've gone through. It's no hurry.
Yeah.
In your 20s, I mean, work on your career.
Yeah.
You know, God already has prepared someone for you, but oftentimes the Holy Spirit is telling us things, which that has been my experience. He's told me things, don't do this, don't do that, don't go here, don't go there, and I did it anyway. And so you gotta be, again, just your own person. Don't listen to others. You know, I grew up in a church where most people were married, and so that was my pressure.
Right.
And I was only in my 20s. I had a lot of life to live. In my 30s, got married, but I still, in your 30s, you have a long life to live. Don't be pressured by the media, by your friends, by your family. You just have to, you know, just steadfast and believe that God has someone for you.
And trust yourself.
Yes.
Your instincts and everything. It's just
exactly.
the whole, we have to get married by 30. I mean, we have to have babies by 35 and everything. But I'm like, Holly Berry is doing it. You know?
Is that in the Word? That's what I always say.
Exactly. Right.
Tell me where God says you have to be married by the time you're 35. Yeah, that's what, no. Go by the Word. What does God say?
Right. I love it.
That's my answer.
And speaking again on that, the relationship, your marriage, how did you get out of such an abusive situation? It was verbal abuse and little physical
it was
abuse?
verbal abuse, and then on the trailer you saw where he bit me under my eye, and we did everything right. Went through premarital counseling, but at that time I was like, ooh, just living a celibate lifestyle for about 3 years, but slipped a few times, and I was like, I just want to have sex, to be honest, you know. You know, so met someone, he was really, I want to marry you, and so we went through the counseling. 3 months after the counseling, he told my pastor that he was molested when he was a child.
Oh, wow.
So that led to him being very angry. He was an alcoholic.
This is why you were married, though.
This is why, while I was married. And so he didn't tell me that. So my pastor said, well, you need to tell Monica this, because had I known this before, during our counseling, we wouldn't have never put you two together. So it was just a really tough situation. But I just prayed about it, and eventually we just, got a divorce.
Oh, wow.
He didn't want a divorce. We went through 2 years in a very tumultuous situation. It was a very stressful situation. But I had to go through that for this day to help others, that when you watch your clock and you rush to do things and get married, when God tells you no, it was a financial hardship, it was a emotional hardship, it was a physical hardship.
It would lead to different circumstances, because that wasn't the path you were supposed to take.
Exactly. Yes, but we are, we're cordial today. I don't have anything against him. After we got a divorce, 9 months later, he called me and apologized and said he was getting his life together. So, again, I don't hold any grudges. It's my fault just as well as his. No one's fault. It's just a situation that you learn from. So, I just really advise women and men not to watch your clock and just take your time and and listen to the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Celibate, Fabulous, and Fearless. What is your favorite chapter from the book?
Wow, I don't really have a favorite chapter.
Or what did you learn from writing the book process?
I learned the strength that I had. I mean, just really looking through my journal, because I've journaled all my life, Ashley. Like, I journal everything. I'll journal today about what my experience was. But just reading, just rereading and writing and the process, and wow, I had the strength. There's a lot of things about friendships I talk about, my dating experiences, and just to be able to still hold your head up high and still enjoy life and still be in the Word, because a lot of people, when you go through situations, oh God, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
I never, one time I was upset at God because I didn't really understand it.
Right.
But yeah, I would say the strength, and then my level of forgiveness. Okay. Most of the things I've gone through, like with my ex-fiance last year, people would say, "Oh, you're so positive about it." Well, yeah, I mean,
Because what can you do?
Exactly.
After a while, it's like, what can you do? This is life. This is just another experience.
Exactly. And things happen, and what I despise is but what I just get so concerned about is when you're in a relationship with someone and they're the best thing since sliced bread, but as soon as you break up with that person, they're this and they're that.
Yeah.
That was the love of my life. That's the only person I've ever been in love with. And so when you are in love with someone, you want the best for them, even if it doesn't work out for you. And so I want the best for anybody I'm going through, especially my ex-fiance. And so I don't have any, the level of forgiveness was shocking to me, because I'm able to just forgive, and that's growing in the Word, because if you have unforgiveness, your blessings are blocked.
Right.
So if you know the bigger picture,
then,
it's not that serious.
Let it go.
Exactly.
Let it go.
Yes.
Good for you. So we did talk about like how sex sells a little bit and this and that, and I wanted to ask you, side note, did you happen to see this picture with Kim Kardashian?
Yes, I saw the greasy picture.
Out and back out, everything. A greasy picture.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on that, if any?
I don't really have a thought. I just think, just like God, He doesn't push the word down your throat. Yeah. He's not in your face. He's not at your door, at your bedside. He gives everyone a choice. Yeah. And so the only thing I can do through my life is to, encourage others. So I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not, oh, that was terrible. I mean, she knows what she's doing, but she does it because she wants more publicity. And people give her that, more attention.
Why?
That's how she's been able to become what she is. And so, she's married. And so if her husband, I guess, is okay with it, who am I to judge it?
Exactly. I love it. I like it. Yeah. I like it. Let her do her, I'll do me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, Celibate, Fabulous, and Fearless, where can people purchase the book?
Well, it's on Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you want people to take away from reading the book?
Well, just my life journey. It's really to just draw more men and women to God. Again, this is not about Monica. I'm not sharing my story and talking about my ex-relationships or anything, friendships to, again, like, woe is me. But it's really through my life, people can see, like, wow, if God did it for Monica, He can do it for me. And that's what God, I think, is really wanting out of this.
Yeah.
And to know that you could be fabulous and have values. And I think that's what's missing in society, that women are so peer pressure. I talk about the 10-to-1 man in here, or the 10-to-1 man. Where I met a guy and he was an ex-baseball player, and he talked about it's 10 of you to 1 of me, and I think women get brainwashed by that stuff, and so you have to read the story and what I told him and how he still calls me today.
Love it. But yeah, because some women start getting desperate and everything.
Exactly.
It's like, well, if I'm not going to do this, then some other woman would do it, so let me just do whatever it is that will keep this man around and satisfy him.
Right, and that's not going to keep a man around.
Yeah.
If you know the word, men do not bond by sex.
Yeah.
Women get emotionally tied, and
but not all women.
Not all women. You're right. There's some women.
Just do their thing and they're good.
I know one that's just kind of like a man, but most women get tied. They're emotionally tied, so that's why men can just go out and sleep with 1,000 women and it's no big deal. But I can tell you that every man that has said they can't deal with the celibate lifestyle, they still call me today. Because no matter if they have sex with someone else, go ahead and have sex. I'm not gonna block my blessings. Delayed judgment is not no judgment. The sin is too pricey for me. So,
but men like to chase.
They like to chase. Yes.
They're like, is she really celibate? Let me see.
Exactly.
Let me call her late at night. See what she's doing.
They won't get an answer.
No.
So yeah, I just want people to be encouraged. And it just one thing, Ashley, when I launched the book, I had a book signing, and women and men afterwards said, wow, after reading your story or hearing you speak, I was suicidal or I was depressed. And so now I feel like, I'm on fire for God, and I'm just, you don't look like what you've been through, and if he can do it for you, he can do it for me. So that is, if I get one person to just get out of the bed and be encouraged and just live life, I'm happy.
Good. Yeah, my bishop says that all of the time. You don't look like what you've been through. A lot of us don't look like what we've been through. We all go through our own trials and tribulations and struggles and everything like that in life. But as long as we decide to flip it around, learn the lesson, learn that most of it is just a blessing in disguise.
Right.
Move on with our life, and we'll be good.
Exactly.
And we'll be fabulous and fearless.
Yes. You're already fabulous,
and
Ashley.
Celibate. Yeah. And celibate. Celibate, fabulous, and fearless. Make sure you go on and get the book by Miss Monica Carter. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Ashley.
Conversations
Thank you.
with Caprice.
Thank you.
Perfect.